let's talk about heavy armor. 21 sets, 14 passives, and the promise of being a walking fortress.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, y'all seen it before. People just shrugging off explosions like it's nothing. But then you drop into absolute chaos of a mission, and reality just hits you like a freight train. You're not a fortress.
I didn't know
You're meat for the grinder. These glorified refrigerators for armor make you a bigger, slower target, trading that little bit of mobility you had for a paper-thin promise of being tough. But what if that promise wasn't a lie? What if I could show you the way of the heavy? What if I could show you that heavy armor is not that bad and that you can actually stand in the heart of a storm and live? So, today I got every single armor set, every single heavy armor set. I mean every single passive on the heavy armor, and I'm going to try them against every single faction to see which ones perform the best. Each loadout will have a build centered around the passive to make it the most efficient. And I did all of this so you don't have to.
This is step one!
Now, this right here is my personal favorite, running the Fortified passive, which gives 50% resistance to explosive damage and 30% recoil reduction when crouching or prone. Eruptor, big boom, deal with bug holes, bot fabs, squid ships. Deagle, no use talent, talent meta, I like Deagle. Grenade, thermite, fire good. Backpack, supply pack, no die. Big gun, stalwart, big bullet, big boom, 500, big bullet, bigger bullet, orbital barrage. Now, all of this in practice, you think it'd be only good against bots, right? But no, it's actually surprisingly good against bugs too, and even more surprisingly good against squids. I honestly thought it was gonna flop against squids, but no, I was blown out of the water. I would say it performed the best against squids. The only thing you can't really deal with is leviathans, but also you can kind of just avoid them in the first place. So it's fine, it just rounds itself out. Overall, I would put squids at the top where the most effective this build is against, and then I would put bugs next, and then bots at the bottom. Which is weird because before it was bots and then bugs that this build was most effective against. Alright, so this next build has me pissed because it was supposed to have a fucking mech suit in it, but they changed it. So, instead, I'm going to explain it first and explain what they changed later. Alright, Adrenal Defibrillator Armor. There is only one heavy armor set with it, and it provides a one-time short-lived resurrection upon death, given that the Helldiver's body is still intact. It increases stim effect duration by 2 seconds, and provides 50% resistance to arc damage. Now, as for the loadout, Blitzer, because it's a big shocky stick. Secondary, grenade pistol, or ultimatum. Grenade, arc grenade, stratagems, exosuit, supply pack, railgun, and strafing run and or airstrike. God. Now, as for the exosuit, you were supposed to be able to, at least used to be able to, when this originally came out, get into the exosuit when you were in that one-time short-lived resurrection state, and you would live it was acting like a dreadnought from Warhammer, but they patched it and you can't do it anymore. So instead, replace the exosuit with the portable hell bomb, and you're going to run in there, and the second you go into that red state, blow yourself up. Replace supply pack with the orbital laser, and that's the loadout. Now, this build performed the best against bots, solely because the Blitzer was carrying the absolute fuck out of it, and then if you know weak points, the railgun destroys everything. And then if you get caught and you're about to die, take everything else with you. Now, against bugs, it performed, I would say, the second best because, again, the Blitzer was able to stun everything and keep everything off you. And then what bugs tend to do, obviously, if you play the game, they fucking swarm you. And eventually, if you get caught out, again, you blow everything up. And you are probably going to get, like, 100 kills because, again, they are swarming that extra life that you get, that extra couple seconds, or I guess, like, multiple seconds if you're stimming a lot, gives you the time to press the nuke button because you're going to die anyway. Now, against squids, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't that good either. It's definitely a fun loadout to run no matter what, but I wouldn't solely recommend this against squid unless you just want to nuke shit just for the fun of it. Now we move on to Servo Assistant. Increase throwing range by 30% and provides plus 50% limb health. Slugger, good and medium penetration shotgun as long as you can hit your shots. Redeemer, you spray anything that gets close. And dynamite and or frag grenades. Jump pack, so you can make those insane jump shots. Expendable anti-tank and or quasar cannon. Then for the last two, 500 kg or airstrike and a 380 barrage. Now, you're not going to believe me when I say this, but this loadout performs best against bots. It's almost like they're the best faction. Against bugs, it's probably the second best faction to fight with this loadout. Although I would recommend switching the Slugger with the Punisher, which is the light armor pen, but it's also just a straight up shotgun and it'll shoot slugs. And then for squids, use a different primary. It's not worth it. Now we have there's a med kit? There's a med kit heavy armor? Okay, yeah, there's a med kit heavy armor. +2 stims and +2 2 seconds duration. Primary, pacifier, you know why. Secondary, stim gun, you know why. Or Talon, thermite, supply pack, expendable anti-tank, recon vehicle, and the 500 kg, because you are going to be an uber medic. Against bots, it performed the best because bots are, again, the best faction to fight and the most balanced. Squids performed the second best, even though they are boring as hell, but this loadout was pretty effective against them. Bugs, it did okay, generally speaking, but as long as you stay near your team, you're not going to get swarmed nearly as badly as if you were to go alone. But if you were to go out alone, I would recommend using the Talon instead of the Stim Pistol, because you can't stim yourself for some reason. I don't understand why. Advanced filtration, 80% resistance to gas damage and effects. Liberator, concussive. Grenade pistol. Thermite, there's a reason Thermite shows up so much. Gas drone. Flamethrower, 500 kg. There's the reason that one shows up so much. An orbital barrage or napalm. This build actually performed the best against squids and the worst against bots, and bugs are actually in the middle. Again, even though it performed the worst against bots, it was actually still a pretty good pick because Fire Good Engineering Kit further reduces recoil when crouching or prone by 30%, and you get 2 extra grenades. The Hulk Shotgun, the Verdict, the Seeker. Although, to be honest, you could probably replace the grenade with whatever you want because you just get 2 extras. I wouldn't use throwing knives though. Recoilless, Gatling Sentry, Airstrike, and the 120 Barrage. This build performed the best against bots, again, because they're the most. Against bugs, it was pretty okay. The Seeker grenades were extremely useful, and same thing with the stun effect on the gun. Against squids, it performed, well, similarly to bots, except slightly worse. But the recoilless rifle, again, carried, maybe not again, but it carries. Inflammable, 75% damage resist to fire. Double-edged sickle, Talon, and incendiary or gas grenade. Rover drone, flame turret, orbital barrage, napalm edition. Expendable anti-tank or expendable napalm. It's really your choice. This build really popped off against the squids. Bugs, it did well as well because, you know, Fire Good. And against the bots, as long as you can hit your headshots and stuff like that, it still holds up. Gunslinger, increases sidearms reload speed by 40%, sidearm draw/holster speed increased by 50%, and the recoil is reduced by 70%. Crossbow, Senator, and the Pineapple, because it got buffed. The ballistic shield or the projectile shield, Commando, precision strike, and napalm airstrike. Now, this build performed, I'm not gonna lie, the best against bugs because it allows you to utilize everything you have to its potential. However, fighting bots, I would recommend using the Senator above the exploding crossbow, although you're going to need a lot more precision, basically just hit your shots. And squids, Pineapple, spam the Pineapple. Reinforced epaulets, increase the reload speed of primary weapons by 30%, gives the wearer a 50% chance to avoid grievous limb injury, and increases melee damage by 50%. Punisher, Saber, Dynamite, Shield Generator, Commando, Airstrike Cluster Bomb, 120 Barrage. This build pretty good against bugs, I'm not gonna lie, it actually surprised me. It surprised me. Squids and bots had operated around the same, although it's slightly better against squids due to the fact that they have just more melee enemies in general, or melee type. Ballistic Padding provides 25% resistance to chest damage and explosive damage, and prevents all damage from bleeding if the chest hemorrhages. Adjudicator, Peacemaker, high explosive grenade, jump pack, anti-material rifle, orbital air burst, and 500 kg. Overall, this build was the most well-rounded. Against bots, it performed the best. I wonder, against bugs, the air burst was able to clear out a large majority of them, combined with the 500 kg was able to wipe out a lot of them, and anything that got close, like a charger or something like that, you can burst down with the anti-material rifle or just shoot. I mean, you have other guns. Peak Physique, increase melee damage by 100% and improves weapons handling with less drag on weapon movement. Dominator, whatever melee weapon you really want. I don't really. Frag grenade, auto cannon, orbital smoke, airstrike, and HMG turret. I honestly think this is my favorite build in this video so far. It is the most fun I've had in Helldivers in a long time. Against bots, it was pretty solid as long as you were able to put the smoke screen up front first and place the HMG turret a good ways away. It cooks, and I guess the auto cannon and everything is pretty good. Against squids, I tried doing the same thing. However, if you're going to place the HMG turret down, place it far away to give yourself enough space and to gun down everything coming through the smoke, because they won't be able to see you probably, but you can see their outline. Against bugs, it's pretty much the same thing, but place the HMG turret a good ways away, so that way if a charger comes charging at you, you have enough time to gun it down and not get crushed. Don't make the same mistake. Siege Ready increases reload speed of primary weapons by 30%, increases ammo capacity of all weapons by 20%, except for backpack weapons. Variable, Bushwhacker, Thermite, Shield Gen, Epoch, Laser, Orbital Gatling Barrage. This loadout is meant to literally throw everything to take advantage of. You have Siege Ready, meaning you're gonna have more ammo, meaning you can throw more shit at the wall. Because of the way how the passive works, this build is honestly another really good roundabout, covering all corners build. Desert Stormer provides 40% resistance to fire, gas, acid, and electrical damage, and increases throwing range by 20%. Torture, Peacemaker, Stun, Grenade Launcher, Hover Pack, Walking Barrage, 500 kg bomb. This build was most effective against bugs, although against bots, if you're able to shoot underneath the hulks and things like that, you should be able to take them out. Against squids, it works pretty well too, especially when dealing with the hordes of boatless. And last, and probably not least, I don't know, it's up to you, Extra Padding provides a higher armor rating at 200 armor. If you die in this thing, you either got helldivers or you just. This is literally the armor set or the passive where you can pretty much add anything onto it and it'll be fine. You know what? Here, I'll pull them together. We got the Halo Shotgun, the M9OA. We got the Verdict, because it is my favorite sidearm, my favorite weapon in the entire game. If only they stopped nerfing side. And last but not least, we have the Thermite, because fuck you, why use any other grenade? Recoilless, Minefield, MG turret, and fuck it, throw a 500 in there. Why not? Why use this? This build is pretty good against bots, because even though they added the War Strider, which is honestly one of the worst designed enemy choices, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking with. Against bugs, it performs pretty well because it's a shotgun with a thermite and a recoilless rifle. I really don't know what more you expect, especially with everything kind of hitting you like a wet noodle. Against squids, it also performed pretty well. I mean, you can take out leviathans pretty easily because recoilless. Yeah, it covers all grounds. You are in heavy armor, you're fat, all of that. And that's good. And now I need to go back and to this video and add a bunch of shit that I didn't add when I don't know why I'm sighing. This is pretty fucking, it's the creative thinking that's really the hard